FAQ time, FAQ time. What's up guys, Andrew Baena here. It's that time of the week. It's that time for another FAQ video. I always hate starting these videos because I don't know what to say and then I ramble and talk about a bunch of irrelevant things like I'm doing right now. Before we get started on the questions, I just want to mention a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to give a big thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers. As always, their names are on the screen right now. These lovely people over here. Second of all, I want to let you know where you guys can comment your questions so that I will answer them or will potentially answer them in a future video. So there's two ways to do this. Number one, very easy, just comment your question on this video and I will pick some questions that I think are interesting and answer them next time. Number two, if you're interested in joining my Discord server, it's completely free and open to anyone. That is linked in the description below, so you can go check that out as well. And in my Discord, there is an FAQ submissions channel where you can do the same thing. Let me know a question and I will try to potentially answer it if I think it'll be interesting. So I think that's pretty much it, so let's get started with the questions. The first question comes from my Discord server from 12 String Bass Boy. And he asks, what is your opinion on the new lineup of BC Rich guitars? So BC Rich Guitars, if you guys don't know, they are the company that makes the ridiculous pointy metal looking guitars like the Mockingbird and what's the other one that's super popular? The Warlock are BC Rich guitars. I think when I was like 13 to 16, I like wanted a Warlock so bad. That was like my dream guitar. And then as I got older, I stopped liking the whole metal pointy guitars looking thing. And yeah, I'm just kind of not really interested in BC Rich at all at this point in time. However, with that being said, the new models that they've been posting actually look pretty good. Apparently they're trying to like revamp and reboot their brand. So I don't know, maybe I'll see more of that at NAMM this coming winter, or maybe they're doing it right now at Summer NAMM. I don't know, because I'm here and not in Nashville, obviously. But yeah, so BC Rich, metal guitars, not for me, but the new ones, maybe? And next up is another question from my Discord server from Root. It's a two-part question. He asks, beer or wine, and have you ever laughed at the wrong moment? The beer or wine is a super easy choice for me. Obviously, I choose beer every time. I don't hate wine. My fiance Serena drinks wine. Not all the time, but she always will choose wine over beer. But me personally, I don't know, I just like beer better. I don't do anything too crazy with beer. I'm not into like craft beers or whatever. I don't really care that much. I personally really like 1664, which is like a French beer, or Corona. Pretty basic stuff. As long as it's like a light beer, I'm happy and I don't really care that much. As for laughing at the wrong time, yeah, obviously that's happened to me tons of times. A good example is just like when I was younger, I would always like laugh when my dad was mad at me, which obviously was a terrible idea because that made him even more mad at me. So that's really the only thing that comes to mind. Is it was usually stuff to do with like school or homework or whatever. I can't really think of any recent times where I laughed at something inappropriate and got caught, at least. The next question is from YouTube from Alonzo Ponce, and they ask, love the FAQ series, and what is your favorite BT Bam song and album? So for those of you that don't know, BT Bam stands for Between the Buried and Me. My favorite Between the Buried and Me album is Colors, of course, hands down, no competition. My favorite song, on the other hand, is a way harder choice because if you've ever listened to that band, you know that basically it's hard to pick a song because all of their albums go from like song one to the end, and it just kind of sounds like one cohesive piece of music. It's not like song, 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 if that makes sense. Yeah, man, that's a really tough one. I think I would have to go with Son of Nothing for my favorite BT Bam song of all time. Again, off the Colors album. Next question comes from Discord from Decaf Iced Tea. And they ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of an epic gamer are you? I'm not much of an epic gamer. I like playing a lot of video games, but I'm really, really, really bad at them. I don't play like online games basically at all anymore. I used to play like Call of Duty when I was in high school, when that was like the super popular. I guess it still is super popular, but I lost interest after high school. So I don't like online game, or I definitely don't competitively game because I'll get my ass kicked. But I do play a lot of video games. I can't remember if I've ever shown you guys my game collection, but I'll show that on the screen right now. So yeah, me and Serena together have a ton of video games. We have almost every console from, what is it, like the N64 onwards. The only one we're missing is like the Dreamcast and the original Xbox, because neither of us had those. But other than that, we have like one of almost every console that I can think of at least. We have quite a lot of games. I personally play Xbox more than PS4. So all my games are digital though, so I don't have any physical games because I just stopped caring about going to the store. I figured like, why would I go to a store and buy a game and come home and install it when I can just like order it and have it download while I sleep and then it's ready to go like exactly when the game launches. But I digress. So I don't know, however much of an epic gamer that makes me, that's what I am. I don't know. I don't have a real answer for you there, my dude. Next question is from British Panda on Discord, and they ask, what is your favorite guitar that you don't own? I feel like I answered this already in one of my first FAQ videos, but whatever. So I got two answers this time. The first answer is the same one that I already gave, which is the Ibanez FTM33, which is of course Frederick Thorndal from Meshuggah's signature model. I just think it's like one of the coolest looking A strings I've ever seen, even though the finish is super plain. Just like that body style on an A string, I've never seen anything like it, and I think it's awesome. I would really, really love to own one of those one day. And number two would be an Ernie Ball Music Man Majesty. These guitars are more common, like I've seen them a lot more in person, and I know a few people that have them, but I've always thought that they were beautiful, and now that I have an Ernie Ball endorsement, maybe I'll actually get a Majesty someday. Next question comes from Randy F. Shout out to Randy. He runs a YouTube channel called Guitar Lessons that I featured on a couple weeks ago, so go check that out if you're interested in learning about guitar lessons, obviously. I'm also going to be doing a couple more lessons with him in the future, so keep an eye on that channel for those. But anyways, his question is, I listened to an absolute ton of Fortress when it came out. I had a blast seeing them on their tour with In Flames and Kill Switch Engage. So he's talking about Purchase the Hero in regards to my last FAQ, and then he asks, if you could only have one guitar for a year, how many strings would it have? So if I was only allowed to play one guitar for a year, I would obviously choose an 8-string guitar, just because then at least I have a 7-string and a 6-string all in there just in case I want to use less strings. That's probably what I would choose, so then I could do drop E, drop A, and drop D, I guess, if I wanted to. Of course, no standard tunings, because standard tunings should be illegal. Next question comes from Discord, from Carson, and he asks, how was your day, sir? So I'm doing pretty good today. Yesterday was my birthday, and I also received this package from Ernie Ball, and I'm proud to announce that I am endorsed by Ernie Ball now. So this is a little bit of a change for me. I think that their strings are great. I've used them occasionally in the past. Of course, I was endorsed by Stringjoy previously, so this is again a bit of a change, but already they've given me like a ton of new strings to play with. They gave me like a bunch of new guitar picks to play with, a few new guitar straps, a bunch of other stuff, so I'm really looking forward to this relationship. And then of course it also has the potential to perhaps turn into an instrument thing as well. Like I was saying earlier, maybe one day I could get my hands on a Majesty or something like that, we'll see. But yeah, very excited about the Ernie Ball thing, and yesterday was my birthday, which was great. I don't really do too much on my birthday. I usually keep it pretty low-key, so I just had like dinner with my family, and my aunt from Ontario is in town, so that was nice to see her again. And yeah, and then other than that, today I'm getting ready for my little brother's wedding, which is in 2 days, so it's been a very busy day, but a very fun day. And yeah, it's going well, thanks for asking. Next up comes from Synth Chris on YouTube, and he asks, pumped for the new Infant Annihilator album, comes out in September. Yes, I cannot wait to hear the new Infant Annihilator. I absolutely love that band, and I dearly miss Eddie and Aaron. I haven't seen them in like 5 years now, which is depressing as hell. So shout out to Eddie and Aaron. I can't wait to hear what crazy stuff they come up with this time, because their last album was insane and the one before that was insane, and they just keep getting crazier and crazier, and I love it. Also, this album has a feature from Alex, who is the vocalist of Black Tongue, so that's going to be awesome. Overall, I'm just really excited to hear this album, and yes, I'm very excited to hear new Infant Annihilator. Next question comes from Discord, from Dill Tate, and they ask, what do you look like with a mustache? Well, I look like this with a mustache, which nobody probably ever wanted to see in their life, so I'm never going to do that again. Fun fact, I looked like that when I opened for Periphery like 5 or 6 years ago. So that was my first time playing guitar live with my band Galactic Pegasus, because I used to do vocals. And also, that's what I looked like when I opened for Periphery, which is a terrible life decision looking back on it, but it was pretty funny at the time. It was also the day before I met Serena, so luckily I shaved this immediately after the show, otherwise we probably wouldn't be getting married. Next question comes from Romeo Tried on Discord, and he asks, what do you prefer, multiscale or normal, and why? This is another question I think I've answered in the past. I have both multiscale and straight scale frets. I don't know, man. Like, it's a tough question because there's benefits to both. I've definitely answered this before because my answer is going to be the same, and as I'm thinking about it, I already know what I'm going to say. So the benefits to multiscale are obviously you get better tension across all the strings, so that's a plus. But the benefit of straight scale is it's not such a pain in the ass to swap pickups. So that's really kind of my opinion. At this point in time, I don't know, I don't really use any weird tunings anymore that often. Like, again, it's usually drop E, drop A, or drop C. So having multiscale, like, it helps a little bit, but it's not like that big of a deal. But on the other hand, since I have an agreement with Seymour Duncan, they don't make, you know, off-the-shelf fan fret pickups. So for that reason, I would rather have straight scale so that I can swap pickups and try new things, because it's a lot harder to do that with a multi-scale guitar. So that's kind of it. Personally, in terms of playability, they both feel basically the same. Like, I don't find there to be any adjustment period to learning how to play a multi-scale guitar. I guess for the feel, I prefer multi-scale, but for the convenience, I prefer straight scale, if that makes any sense. Next question comes from low budget Misha Mansour on my Discord server, and he asks, will my question ever get answered? All right, moving on. Next question comes from Fear on my Discord server, and he asks, what is your favorite non-custom guitar company, brands such as Ibanez, Schecter, LTD, etc., and why? Well, my favorite is Solar Guitars, which probably is pretty obvious because I have 3 of them. So Ola England and Solar Guitars would be my personal choice for non-custom guitars, because look how goddamn beautiful that is. It's so simple, just one color, but those cutaways, man, these guitars are so awesome for the price. The stock pickups sound great, even though they're, you know, just OEM pickups. They sound awesome. Everything about his guitars, or sorry, Solar Guitars, is just great. So this is my choice for non-custom production model guitars personally. Other favorites would be like LTD, because their stuff is pretty good and usually like punches kind of above its price range. Like, I don't know, like the EC1000, the EC400, like all the 400 and 1000 series guitars that LTD makes are always good. Prestige Ibanez are always good. Schecter's always good. I don't know, man. Like with production guitars, there's lots of good ones. So it's really about finding the one that you personally like the feel of, whether that be like the neck or the stock pickups or whatever. But my personal choice would be Solar Guitars. Next question is an impossible one from Zen on Discord, and he asks, Slipknot or System of a Down? I literally don't know how to answer this question because I cannot imagine not listening to either of them. Those bands were such huge influences for me, and they were 2 of the first bands that I ever got into. It was like Linkin Park, System of a Down, and then Slipknot in that order, I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, it spiraled out of control from there. System of a Down is so good and so unique, but Slipknot is more like to do with how my writing style came from, because I don't write anything that sounds like System of a Down, that's for sure. But Slipknot, I took more influence from, so no, I gotta go System of a Down. Even though Slipknot technically has done more for me in terms of my play style, System of a Down is just, I don't know, man, there's something else. There's never been another band that sounds like them. So I would pick System of a Down. Next question comes from Paul King on YouTube, and he asks, hey Andrew, do you like the TV show Stranger Things? Yes, I love Stranger Things. I just finished watching the new season, I guess last week probably. Yeah, me and Serena finished it. I thought it was great. Spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen the new episode of Stranger Things, do not listen to this part of the video. I thought that they did not really explain the connection between like the Russians and the gate. Like, why were the Russians doing that? That wasn't really explained, so I thought that was kind of lame, unless I'm just stupid and missed something. But other than that, literally everything else about the new season was awesome. I almost cried on the last episode, and I've like never cried for a TV show before. So yeah, it was very, very good. Also, my dishwasher just turned on, so sorry about that sound quality though. Yeah, it's done now. The final question comes from Phil Marquez on YouTube. How's it going, Phil? Long time no talk. He asked, what is the weirdest compliment you've ever received from a fan? So I can't remember a compliment, but the last time that we went on tour, we played in Alberta at this festival. And the day that we were leaving, like Fit for an Autopsy was playing, who are an amazing band. And I was like sitting there watching, and this kid just like came up to me and was like, hey man, I saw your cover of Dark Horse by Katy Perry, and it's like an abomination to music, like to my face. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you say that to me? And he's like, yeah, but like all your other music is awesome, but like, man, you should like delete that cover because it's really bad. Anyways, nice meeting you, bye. And like fucked off. And I was just like, What makes you think that I would want to hear you say that? Like, how is that an okay thing to say to a person? Like, I don't know. Not really a compliment. I guess it is a compliment, but like a very underhanded one. That really pissed me off. Fuck that guy wherever he is. I will not delete my Katy Perry cover because I love that cover.
All right. Okay, so Sierra asks, what does your fiance think about the leggings and your face on them? I think they're a glorious masterpiece that everybody should own in their closet. That's like a staple piece of fashion. You definitely need those. I will never wear them, but you need them.
Alright, that's it for this week's FAQ video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Once again, leave your questions in the comments below or on my Discord server. Either way, I'll be picking from both sources. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I look forward to reading your questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.